You just validated something that I believe in and that I really advocate for,
Mm-hmm.
which is this idea of investing in search, and kind of goes in with line with playing the long game.
Mm-hmm.
People are infatuated with social media, and I'm not here to tell you one is bad and what is good, right? I think that they should all be a part of your holistic marketing strategy.
Mm-hmm.
However, what you just said is the reason why the majority of my time, effort, and energy is spent on YouTube. Because here's the deal. If I'm going to run around and play the rat race game, right, and trying to get Instagram subscribers, or trying to get people on TikTok, or trying to get people on Twitter, whatever, like those are all things that I do actively. But what are the odds that a tweet from 2 years ago starts to, all of a sudden people are like, wow, this is a really cool thing that Chris said. I'm going to like this and share it and subscribe and follow him and join his email list. Like, that's just, there's zero possibility of that happening. Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Instagram. You probably, most of the time, you're going through your feed and you see something that somebody, oh, that's cool. Like, and that's the extent of it. Maybe you share it at most. So in terms of instant engagement, and what I like to do is this, and I want to see if this is how you addressed it, and then I want to get into the equipment talk, because that's really where you're amazing, and I think you provide value. Not that you can't provide value in these other areas too, but I use social media in a lot of ways to validate assumptions that I have about things that maybe people want to know about, because it's that instant like feedback loop of, I talk about this. Wow, people seem to really resonate with this. I'm getting a lot of DMs. I'm getting a lot of likes. I'm getting a lot of comments on this particular stuff. So I test ideas, right? In addition to looking at search terms and vidIQ and stuff like that on YouTube, but I'm able to really test and really quickly create velocity towards understanding what my audience wants and what they feel that maybe I'm uniquely qualified to teach them or to convey to them. And then you go create the long form content like blogs and YouTube around that, in addition to your other data metrics that you're pulling. Is that how you kind of use it or view it as well?
Yeah. The nice thing about, I kind of have a video discussing this, and it really, for me, it boils down to constraining myself to certain parts of a niche, or I guess niching down. And it's the question of creativity, because I feel like somebody like you is so much more business oriented and has the business acumen, whereas me, I feel like I came from a creative background in like playing an instrument and all these things. So when I think of things like this, it's the idea of creativity and getting, well, you know this all too well, burning out.
Sure.
The idea of creativity and creating something that's both fulfilling for me and my audience. And if there's a Venn diagram of where that is, you're just trying to find the middle of that Venn diagram. And what ends up happening is, when you do select a subject matter for your channel, it makes things so much easier. It's much like Mark Zuckerberg in his black shirt. He just puts it on in the morning and then he just goes about doing his thing. When it comes to YouTube content on my channel, it's like, if I wake up, all right, well, at this point I have a list of things that I want to do, and it's kind of gauged by how quickly can I create that content in a valuable way that has the type of quality that I'm looking for. Or there's much more longer form YouTube videos that I just like, I'm trying to create these videos and keep them under like 10 minutes, because I know from my analytics, the audience retention on similar subjects of that piece or of that subject matter won't do as well, because people don't stick around for that whole video. But I know the information is valuable throughout that. So what ends up happening is I look at those ideas of what's worked, and then a new angle at which I need to teach something, or maybe there's a new effect or whatever it is. Sometimes, especially with video editing tutorials, it can get so mundane, and it becomes a thing for me, like, how can I creatively flex my muscle to teach whatever this thing is? Like creating a whole video around the concept of why you shouldn't use the razor tool in Premiere Pro. How do you, and that ended up being a 7-minute video, when in all honesty, I can tell you right now that if you hit C on the keyboard, that brings up the razor tool. You can chop up a clip, or you can hit Command K and that will chop up a clip. I just told you everything that you need to know in like less than 10 seconds. But there's that whole edutainment aspect of it, where how do you teach it in a way that actually people retain the information and want to stick around? Cody Warner has this great thing that he says, I think it was in a tweet, where when you come out with a video, try and give the surface value of what people clicked on, then give subcontext of who you are in another part of the video. And then underneath that, have a third layer where you just really show some aspect about your life or something about your personality so people can stick around to subscribe and want to learn from you specifically. So as opposed to just clicking and learning something on a video, try and sublayer it where you have the tutorial, then maybe you have a storyline of you're doing something and or whatever that may be in the video itself, and then underneath that have something that shows a piece of yourself. I think a great YouTuber that does stuff like this was Lizzie Pierce. If you watch her videos, she's somebody that really stands by what she said, much like yourself, stands by what she says and what she does. But at the same time, she'll showcase her personality throughout the video and still effectively give you the information. So I think that's something subconsciously when you're watching videos that you really like and you're learning something that they all have.
All right, did you like that clip? Remember, that's not the full interview, and you can watch the rest of that discussion right above my head. You can click right on the screen. Go ahead and start that now, but before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. See you inside.